Alright guys, moving on to stage 3 of DSA. This is the marsh stage. For this stage we have the special mechanic where giant, very large poison mist clouds will spawn starting on round 2. You can't stand in these poison AoE clouds. They deal a significant amount of damage. 2 ticks is enough to kill a DPS or a healer. 3 or 4 ticks is enough to kill a properly spec'd out tank. So you're going to want to avoid standing in those pools when they spawn. They spawn on the north, south, east, west, so the 4 cardinal directions, and then one spawns in the center. You have a couple of priority targets on this stage. On your first round here, you're going to want to target the nereid. The mages always will be your priority targets if they do spawn. Starting on round 2, however, a wamasu will spawn on every single round, so you're going to want to target the wamasu down before heading your next priority target, which is going to be your strangler plants. Your strangler plants will start spawning on round 2. They will pull a random player to them, and then they'll have to be killed. So if you're blocking, it won't pull you, so whenever you see portals spawn starting on round 2, you're going to want to have your block up. As a tank, you're going to want to block at the last possible moment so you continue to have that stam regen. So you see here on round 2, we're not concerned right now because the stranglers won't start spawning on the first wave. That's the wamasu. You're going to want to taunt the wamasu, face them away from the group when you get a chance, because he does have some frontal conal AoE moves. This is where you're going to want to start blocking whenever the portals start spawning. You see there, that's a poison AoE cloud. You start off with only one on round 2, but eventually at some point you will see multiple spawning. If you stand approximately where we are, you are going to be relatively safe from the large poison clouds. You will have to continue to deal with other AoE moves, but you won't get the one-shot poison cloud tick if you stand approximately where we are. You have some space to move north and south in this position, so do take advantage of that. Again, you want to block at the beginning of each round and whenever the portals spawn. Tank should taunt the wamasu, face them away from the group so they don't get hit by that conal AoE move. And then you're going to want to chain the casters to you. This is going to be particularly important if you have melee DPS like a mag decay or any stamina class. If a nereid does spawn, as you see there, you're going to want to taunt the nereids. Nereids are your second priority target because they do count as a caster. This is us waiting on round 4 to spawn. There we go. You see all of us have our block up except for our 1 DPS, and that's because since he is ranged, he's responsible for killing the stranglers if they do pull him. He just has to wait for an opportune time to kill the stranglers. If you have a magical sorcerer that is using a pet, they will also target the pet, so that's particularly useful as well. Again, shielding up when the ads spawn to make sure we're not getting pulled. You see here as the tank pulling the casters out of the poison AoE so that our melee DPS can actually hit the ads without having to worry about poison circles. Again, casters there, going to want to chain them in. If you're a DK, use Frozen Gate if you are a Warden. If you're a Templar or Nightblade or a Sork tank, you don't really have any sort of move to pull them in, so you're just going to have to hope. You're going to need ranged DPS if you are one of those 3 classes and you're tanking. either ranged or have a DK or Warden DPS on your team. Can't stress this enough, DK tanks are highly preferred over any other class for vDSA. Boss stage here, 2 bosses, dual wield, and I guess shaman nature mage. 2 stranglers will spawn, no other adds are going to spawn with you. The mage will teleport around, so as a tank don't worry about bringing the melee add to the mage because she's just going to move. He will summon the aura, the protection totem. If you break that, it'll momentarily stun both bosses. So when that does spawn, try to break it as soon as you can to get that it's about 3 or 4 second spawn. Add spawn here, 60%. Stranglers as well. Wamasu first spawns on the first wave round, so DPS, if you have a Destro ulti, save it for the first round when the wamasu spawns to burn it down as quickly as you can before going back to the boss. Poison circles will continue to spawn, so keep on your toes, make sure you're not standing in any of the poison circles. Second round of adds spawn at 35%, you saw there. Gonna want to chain the casters in, again, for your melee DPS. Bosses themselves are not too difficult. The dual wield is standard Nightblade mechanics, so nothing really to worry about with the melee. The mage does have a frontal AoE conal attack, as well as he can drop down a liquid lightning that will do a fairly moderate amount of damage over a large area. So you're going to want to watch out for the red AoEs here. So that's it for stage 3. Go ahead and loot the chest and move on to stage 4.